Hi there YouTube. I've suffered from internal visor steaming for quite a few years now, and I'm usually just a fair weather biker, so it's not that bad. You just crack the visor and away it goes. But recently I've been getting into motor vlogging, and I want to ride in the winter as well, which obviously steaming is a much bigger problem, and I can't just crack the visor when I'm motor vlogging because it bothers the sound, what have you. Recently I've been using pinlock visors, but even those, after a month or so, start to steam as well. So I thought I'd try something different. The product I'm trying at the minute is Muc-Off's Anti-Fog Treatment, and this is how I got on.
Applying the product. Premium Anti-Fog Treatment by Muc-Off. There's the wee bottle. Now it is a small bottle, but considering the light amount you'll need for your visor, I'd imagine this stuff will last actually a good while. Now, according to the bottle, you shouldn't apply this stuff to a pinlock visor or to anti-fog coated visors. Now, this obviously was a pinlock visor. I've removed the insert and I'm just going to use this as a visor on its own. Once the product's applied, I'll reinsert the pins to stop any excess airflow and use the visor as is. Again, according to the bottle, the visor has been thoroughly cleaned inside and out before applying the product. Basically, shake the bottle, light mist all over the visor, and a light wipe with tissue, or in this case kitchen roll, and that is basically it. This stuff is supposed to last up to 5 days. To be honest, if it works, I wouldn't mind applying this stuff once every day. That would not bother me if it works, but let's see. There we go. Give it a good shake. As I say, just a light mist. And a light wipe with the kitchen roll. I'm assuming you're expected to leave a coat and let it dry, which I will do. So we'll gear up, get that on the lid, take it off for a ride, and see what happens.
Okay, visor locked down. Let's see how this thing does. Now the idea, I think, is to use the dialogue at real time, but fast forward the imagery, because let's face it, you don't want to be staring at my ugly mug for 30-40 minutes. A couple of things to point out. I was right when I thought I'd used a little too much of the product on the visor, and also using kitchen roll instead of toilet roll or tissue was quite a large mistake. Basically, the kitchen roll was too stiff and just left lots of streaks all over the visor. So after I stopped filming, I went back with a piece of toilet roll and rebuffed the screen, which ended up in what looked like a greasy film, which I thought was wrong. But after leaving it around 10 minutes, it dried to a complete clear. So that was okay. So tip of the day is try not to use too much, but I think until you actually try this stuff yourself, you're not really going to know exactly how much too much is until you've used it. Now, even though we've got blue skies today, it's still very damp and the ground's very wet, so it's probably perfect conditions to try this thing out. Okay, we're up to about 60 miles an hour, everything's looking good. There is a slight dulling effect on the screen, I can notice. If I move my head slightly, now that may be down to me using too much product, I'm not entirely sure, but it is visible. You can still see clearly through the screen, but there's a slight fuzz to things. Now, I've only been going a couple of miles, but so far everything's good. get a little bit of speed up to 75. It's quite a fair bit of wind. I'm trying to breathe completely normally. And this lid is a Shoei Hornet, which has the chin skirt, which keeps out a lot of the wind, which I assume helps to hold in a lot of the heat from your breath. That seemed fine, not a problem, no change on the screen at all. Hopefully you can see that. Standard traffic lights is always a problem for me. Let's see how it does. Now we are getting a little mist, but I'm suddenly starting to think doing this with glasses on is probably not the best idea. It's hard to tell if it's the screen or my glasses. I suspect it's actually my glasses. I don't want to lift the screen because I don't want to change the temperatures and spoil the test. So hopefully we can still be able to see by the visuals if it's actually the screen or my glasses. Okay, we just hit 7 miles here, and to be completely honest, the visor is actually getting clearer. I want to set off. There was a softened effect to the visuals, as I mentioned, and that seems to have dissipated. Possibly something to do with the fog in itself, the moisture from a breath, from a nose, is reacting with the chemical and thinning it out, smoothing it out. I don't know, but I'm actually quite impressed. Stuck being a slow driver here, down to 24 miles an hour. So I guess again that helps to build on what could possibly be fogging, which I'm not getting. Back down to slower pace again, and there is misting, but again I'm convinced it's my glasses. Now this stuff can actually be used on glasses, prescription glasses, sunglasses, and why I didn't think to do that before I left the house is beyond me, but I'll know next time. Okay, we're going to pull the bike up here, have a quick walk around and see how it goes. There is fogging, and I was right, it is my glasses. So, another note, if you wear prescription glasses, use Muc-Off Anti-Fog, because it certainly works. Okay, we're at 15 miles now, and for the past few minutes there's been quite a visible residue on the inside of the visor. It's virtually like looking through a thin layer of water. It's a little bit distorting to the image you're looking at, and I would imagine at night it could actually be very dangerous. Again, this could be down to the amount of product I've put on the visor, so obviously I'll try that a few times and see if that changes, but It's almost as if the fogging effect is being absorbed by the chemical within the solution, and it's being held there. It's not a fog, but it's definitely a fluid. So we're going to call it a day at 16 miles, and I think I would call it a semi-success. Okay, results and what I think. We covered 16 miles exactly, and the temperature was around about 6 degrees C. The ground was wet and the atmosphere was very damp, so probably perfect conditions for your visor to fog up. Did the product do what it says it does? Yes, it certainly does. There was no fogging inside the visor at any time throughout the entire test. Am I happy with the product and how it performed? I would have to say, unfortunately, no. Basically, the result of, obviously, hot breath against the chemical on the visor resulted in condensation inside the visor itself, which built up to give quite a distorted view. Is that better than fogging? Yes, absolutely, of course. You can still see through a layer of moisture, even if it is distorted. Is it safe? Not entirely. Am I going to use the product again? Yes, I'm actually using it now. This is the following day from the test. I've only covered several miles, but it still seems to be reacting in exactly the same way it did during the test. So the claims of the product lasting up to 5 days, at the very least I can say it'll last 2 days. Will I keep using the product? Yes, at a push. It seems to work okay on relatively short runs, which, to be honest, in bad weather, that's all I'm going to be doing. I think if you're going to be doing a very long run, then I would probably suggest you look at something else. As I've said, the problem with me seems to be quite excessive. I don't know if that's because I've got extra hot breath, if I breathe a lot more than most, or if I've just got a giant big honking nose. I have no idea. But for me, unfortunately, this stuff does perform okay, but it's not a solution. There you have it. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again.